We have a very proud history of providing support to people for over 50 years. It started as a community organisation that was basically groups of families looking at what kind of options there were to support their young children with a disability. So it started as a school. And now we have grown to provide accommodation services, as Sophie mentioned, further education and independence training for people with a disability, and pathways to open employment. So they're our three main sort of areas of expertise. Our vision for people with a disability is really the same vision, I think, that anyone has for their own family members, and particularly for young people. Young people with a disability really want the same things as anybody else. They want independence, they want to share time with their friends and doing things they're interested in. They want to feel part of their community like we all do. They want to have an opportunity to study, but they really want an opportunity to work. And I guess that's the thing that we really want to concentrate on today. I think you're probably all aware of the NDIS. And the NDIS is a wonderful thing that has been put into place. It's giving a lot more opportunities for people, but it's only part of the solution. We still have to work as a community, we believe. So just a bit of meet some of the people we support. This is Ben. Ben came directly to OCCE Connections from school. He lives at home with his family. But his family, and certainly he, wanted to become much more integrated into his local community and to learn different skills to become independent, but also to be supported into going into work and have that successful. So Ben has learned a number of different skills. He is a proud sailor and he actually goes in regattas now, which is fantastic. He's completed his Certificate 1 in Work Education that we supported him to do through a local RTO. He's had work experience, and that's actually provided him a pathway into 1 day a week of employment. And his mum certainly is really keen for that to expand, and his employer, as you can see, is very, very pleased with the way that he has worked. What we know about work as a valuable part of our lives is that people with a disability also feel the same. People with a disability overwhelmingly want to work and are certainly capable of working. Working, as you know, gives a sense of belonging and purpose. It creates different skills in different areas. It gives people the opportunity to be independent, both in themselves and financially, and it gives people great self-confidence. And we'll introduce you to one of our workers later on via video, and I think that he probably explains it much better than I can. Our business, which is OCCE, so that's is our enterprises, which is all around employment. We believe that people with a disability have the same rights to training and work as anybody else. And so what we offer as a solution to some of the issues that I mentioned before is skills training. So we do specific skills training with people around the actual work that they're doing, but also around independence, travel training, budgeting, sometimes cooking if people are living more independent. Work experience, so that's where we work with different businesses to actually support people in work experience. Transition to work programs, so that's where we actually identify particular programs that people are interested in, and we help them transition possibly from school to work. Sometimes they're people who have been at home for a long time and they need extra support to transition into work. Job placement, where it actually is going to be successful, so matching the skills of the individual with the needs of the employer, and then actually making sure we support people through to make that a successful job placement. Supported employment, which is where people are actually supported on the job. So they are our packaging, our car wash and our administration. So people get a supported wage, they also get a disability support pension, and they also get support from our workers to maintain their productivity and to learn new skills. Open employment, which I mentioned before, which is finding jobs for people on the open market. And in some situations, career planning. So people really who don't understand what they're wanting to do, particularly young people, looking at goals that are going to be attainable and the steps to actually reach those. So they are the things that we as an organisation provide to people with a disability. So in terms of what community can do, we believe that the greatest chance of getting the outcomes that people want is to partner up with community, is to partner up with organisations such as yourself, other disability organisations that have got specialists in different areas that we may not, but also getting our name out there and making sure that businesses where they can support us, we actually work with them. And again, the conduit to businesses are people like you who are in business, because we're in welfare, we're not in business. So it can be difficult for us. So our business services. So we have a really great business down in Centre Road. There we provide services such as packing and assembling, labelling, putting together promotional bags, container de-stuffing where we need to repackage things, and heat sealing. So on site, people get training from our support staff, and in some situations we're actually able to do some of that work actually at a different work site, so at a particular employee's work site, send a team of people down there. We also provide administrative services. So this is where we have a team of people, and this is our admin team, one of our admin teams down there below. And the sorts of services that we provide are as seen. So we provide all sorts of things that people need in their workplace that are often tasks that either you don't have staff to do, or they're very time consuming, or they're one-off and you don't want to be employing people. We can actually come into the site and do it, or we can do it actually in Centre Road. We have, through this particular program, we've got an amazing partnership with the Department of Defence. We actually go down to the St Kilda Road Barracks and we provide administrative support at the St Kilda Road Barracks. And as part of that, people have learnt so many skills that one of our employees is now doing the mail run at the barracks, which I think any of you who even know the layout of the barracks or have seen it even from the outside is a very complicated job to do. He's very proud to be doing that, and Department of Defence are very, very impressed with his work. We actually had Department of Defence come to our AGM to talk about what they have gained out of having our team down there in terms of morale, in terms of attention to detail, and to a certain extent even modifying the way they do certain things, because that's helped them teach our team, but then the spin-off has been that their staff also have benefited from that. So it's a wonderful relationship, and we're looking at possibly doing something down at Point Cook with them as well, which will be fantastic. The other area that is reasonably new, it's been going for a couple of years now, is our waterless car washing service. So when I say waterless, I think it uses about 1.5 litres of water. It's got special chemicals in that water that means that we don't have to sort of be using hoses, etc. And the other thing that's important is that it's a mobile car washing team. So this team actually started out just working on one site, but now has contracts with local government. Kingston, it has some work with, and Bayside. There are contracts with the Department of Health and Human Services in a couple of their offices. We're looking at other councils such as Monash and Casey, and also just in the general commercial sphere. So Melbourne's Cheapest Cars, we work with them at the moment, and we're in conversations with some others. Again, the feedback that we have had is not just how fantastic it is for our team, but that it has made people in those work sites much more comfortable with people with a disability. They enjoy going to work, they actually miss the team when they're not there. When it's pouring with rain, they can't be there. So, you know, there are some real benefits on both sides. The other area that we're really trying to expand on is providing real work opportunities for people in terms of work experience. it's invaluable for people to get that confidence and skill development. And quite often, as we've seen with Department of Defence, people, once they're there, the chance of them then jumping into a full-time job is much greater. Speaking of that, Department of Defence have actually identified 2 people that they're looking at possibly employing full-time on full award wages. So in the public service, that would be a job forever for them. So that's really fantastic. So it's invaluable, really, getting that work experience for people. What we do in terms of that is actually go on site and help people through the work experience. So it's daunting for I've got teenage sons, it's daunting for anyone to do work experience, and they always feel a bit like a fish out of water. So we actually have staff who go in and help them through that, but also work with the organisation about how to talk to people with a disability and I suppose demystify some of those things that people think that are often not true. In terms of the bottom line, we have happy customers. Feedback certainly is that it's cost efficient and the quality of the service is very high. We couldn't keep doing this if it's not charity. I guess I'm saying it's about having a commercial relationship with these people. As I mentioned, quality control is really, really important to us. We pride ourselves on the processes that are in place in all of those different areas, so in the packaging, administration and car wash. Particularly with car wash, because it was one of the newer enterprises, we have feedback sheets that are in the cars that we expect the customers to give to us so that we can continually improve. And certainly the responses have been very, very good. So, the impact of getting employment for people with a disability. What's the impact for the person with a disability, for your customers if you're in business, and for your organisation or organisations that you know of? So, for people with a disability, people who receive supported wage along with the disability support pension receive above what would be the minimum wage. So it is beneficial. Sometimes people see things in the press that people are getting a supported wage and that it's not benefiting them. That a lot of I suppose the old-fashioned propaganda around sheltered workshops, and certainly sheltered workshops where people were getting $1 a day was not good. Those days have gone. So there is an assessment. People get a supported wage. They continue to get the disability support pension, so they're above that wage. They also continue to get those benefits that are really important because a number of people have got other health issues or require rental assistance, etc. It's really, really important. Employees with a disability are highly motivated. They really, really want to work, and so research has shown that they actually take less absentee days and there's a higher retention rate. And there's also a higher retention rate for some of those tasks that certainly the new generation coming through don't necessarily want to do. Some data entry, some of those very systemic kind of tasks that people say, I just get a bit bored and I don't want to do it. It's something that often people with a disability will find quite comforting in terms of their condition, and they will actually be really, really proficient at that. In surveys that we do with all of our participants, it's really pleasing for us to note that 90% of our supported employees say that they like where they're working, that they like learning the new skills, and they like the people that they're working with. So that's something that we feel we've got a happy workforce, and we're very proud of that. For organisations who actually take the step to work with people with a disability, research has shown that working in inclusive teams with people with a disability boosts satisfaction, it boosts team performance. I think Defence has certainly shown that to us. Many younger people coming into the workforce really value diversity. They really value the fact that where they're working actually is providing opportunities for people, and they really like the idea that they're working for an organisation that has some of that social responsibility. They're probably the organisations that you have the most to do with anyway, given that you're Rotary, I would imagine. And perceived corporate citizenship is something that is really important to many people in terms of remaining where they're working. So your existing workforce remaining the retention rate of your staff, the organisations that you represent. In terms of customers, again, research has shown that that Australians believe that businesses that show that responsibility and contribute to the social good are more attractive to them. Consumers are more likely to recommend a brand that they know supports people who are disadvantaged in some way. They often, 73%, I think it says, would switch brands if that was similar quality, but they know that another brand is doing corporate good either here or overseas. And it does establish a reputation as a company that offers more diverse workforce and can actually improve its brand profile. So that's enough for me. Jack is a supported employee of ours who has worked down at Department of Defence, and I think that he probably says it better than I ever could. So we'll introduce you to Jack.
Hi, I'm Jack and I'm 25 years old. I live at home with my mum and I went to Glen Ellen's special school and I left when I was 18 years old. When I left school, I went to TAFE out at Holmes Glen in Moorabbin, and I studied Certificate 1 in Work Education. So then I decided to join a job agency, and they helped me find some work experience. So previously I've worked at Disability Sport and Recreation, the Southern Football Netball League. What else have I worked? I worked at a horse racing stable. I first started working with OC Connections in 2014. At the end of 2014, I work now at the Department of Defence and I do a lot of the mail run, which involves walking around the base delivering mail to people. I do a lot of scanning and filing. Yeah, the people I work with are really helpful, they're friendly, they're funny, they're just good work people. The people that support me at work are great, they've helped me so much, especially these past couple of years. When I go to work, I feel proud within myself. And happy with the job I do and the money I earn. It mostly goes to rent. If I earned more money, I'd spend it on more holidays, travelling, going overseas. The kind of work I'd like to do in the future is to work in a sports administration job, like sporting club, sport organisation. To do the dream jobs I'd like to do, I'd have to go to do more TAFE courses and study a lot hard and a lot more work experience. When I work, I try and give 110% every day. And I work, I try and work hard and to the best ability that I can. I like working, it gives me something to do. I wake up early, which I don't really like, but it gives me a purpose to live, and having a job makes me feel important, and it just goes to prove that people with a disability can work, and there you go. I don't know what else to say. That came straight to mind and I'm going to stick with it. Give us a chance, we've got a lot to prove, and just give us a chance.